Can you believe this? Just when I thought it was over, it happens. I'm given the most difficult challenge I've ever been given in a while. I thought the last Barefoot and Broke challenge was really hustling. So we actually stopped doing the show. But the problem is once in a while, I get a challenge so amazing when I find these cutting boards that Herb didn't tell me he had. Many of you are wondering about the Band-Aid on my nose. Well, that's just because I didn't want you to look at a sore. But, getting back to things. Now, as we know, we can't say anything to Queen Michelle. Who knows? Uh-oh. Is that Roseanne Manon? Roseanne, I get one more chance to talk to you. Now, Roseanne, you're a mom, so you're going to appreciate this. So check this out. We're going to let the rice simmer. So what we did, Roseanne, is we had rice. I had a choice of diced tomatoes. This is by the way, how broke we are, because it's the end of the month and everybody's going through that whole reduced benefits, etc. Well, Barefoot and Broke, we have no problems with that. We will find a way. Another thing that we're doing is we're using hot dogs, okay? Now, I've washed my hands about 3 zillion times, so I'm going to cook them for several minutes in some water. Now, why am I doing that? All right. Well, what we're going to do is actually, Ellen Hill gave me this cutting board. And Michelle, of course, and Ellen have done a lot for this show. And what we're going to do in honor of them is use it. And this is a surprise show. So, Roseanne, we're going to take, check this out. We've already shown you the rice. Now, you can see these are my choices. And if you want to actually chime in, you can see you've got peas and carrots, cream of chicken, and diced tomatoes. Now, here's what I'm thinking. Rice and chopped up hot dogs, as long as they're cooked really well. You want to make sure the hot dogs are cooked all the way through because God only knows what mystery meat lies in there. Now let's flip the camera the appropriate way. So we'll do this. And while I'm talking to you, as you can see, we're going to check the franks. We're just going to do a little rollover like that. You can see they're getting hot. And we're going to just give them another 2.5 minutes. We're going in 2.5 minute intervals because if you put it in for 5 or 3, obviously they can burst, they can pop. There's water in there. I didn't cover it, so it's going to get hot and just blow up all over the place. So we don't want that to happen. So going in 2.5 minute intervals seems to be fairly safe. At least that's what we've learned from having to clean our microwave a lot. Let's see here. Roseanne Manon, let's see. What does she say? Oh, you know what, Roseanne? Sorry, I forgot. I have to use all 4 of my eyes. Ooh, broccoli, cauliflower, curry salad. Send some my way. We're a little broke. So, Roseanne, now let's go ahead and flip the camera around for you. It's actually kind of nice. This is the first time I actually get a chance to talk to you in all these years. You're a mom and a wife. You're always good at being in charge. I remember you at theater tech. And it was a difficult thing, but you took it and you made it happen. All right, so we can see this rice is starting to. There we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful rice. Okay, so it's starting to flip. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to we need to let it soak in a little bit more because, yeah, it's still a little wet. So what we want to do is we're just going to kind of curl and twirl, so to speak. Boom. Put that back on there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go with the diced tomatoes, and I'm going to have to go with the hot dogs. And we're going to chop those up and mix it in. We're going to mix in the diced tomatoes. But what can we do? We can take it one step further. We can actually take this cheese and put it over the top and melt it and actually serve it in a dish. Let's take something small like this. Let's use this because these will be a little bit more experimental. Oh my gosh. Now look what I've done. I left my camera on too long. Nicole and Amy, welcome aboard. This is a pop-up edition of Barefoot and Broke. I know I canceled the show last week. And before you ask about the tape over my nose, it's better looking than an open sore. Now, we are super broke right now. And so I'm going to have to put this. So how creative have you been? You know, it looks like I'm working with a bunch of moms tonight. Moms, you got to get creative sometimes when you're doing cooking. And you got a bunch of screaming brat kids that don't even want to help you. I know how to change that. That's Dad's job. Pain and suffering. But after those kids have been convinced the old-fashioned way to be a little more helpful to Mom, this is what we came up with. Check this out. Nicole, I was showing you earlier rice, and we are so broke, we are going to use these hot dogs that we're actually about to pull out of here. Amy, you're going to love this. Roseanne. Okay, so now here's what's happening. So you can see they're swollen. And yeah, I know. I'm opening. Thank God none of the guys are here because it would be a bunch of swollen weenie jokes. So we'll just leave that one out of there. Let's see. Might have learned to fend for themselves. Yep, that's actually something that I learned too from having step parents. Some of them could cook, some of them couldn't. And when they couldn't and you were 11, nothing like a Happy Meal to fend for myself. Thank you, Paper Route. Now, let's get back to cooking. So, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to have to do this one-handed. We're going to take this, and we're just going to make sure the rice is nice and easily fluffed and separated. Because as you know, it never cooks evenly because of the nature of technology unless you have like a really, really good oven. This gas stove has been very reliable, and it's been very easy to clean. But the nature of, you notice it sits at an angle, so we've got to turn the pot. And that's something that we do. And that's just, it's not the quality of the stove. It's clearly been very good to us. We are very lucky to have it. And I enjoy using it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip camera. Oh, wait. There we go. I know. Hold on. I'm going to go like this. And here's what we're going to do. All right. So, diced tomatoes. We're just going to take it over here. Now, I don't know why I'm doing this. Here's the rice. So we're just going to dump these in. We're going to dump the liquid in because we're going to need that later. So I'll bring the camera back in just a second. But right now, the next thing we want to do, and this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, so just bear with me. Or don't. I mean, it's Saturday night. I mean, if you're watching me on a Saturday night, I mean, anyways, yeah, I'll get past that. I'll get past it. So now we're just going to simply mix this together. You can see right now. Now I can't really bring the pan too close, but you can see I'm just going to kind of turn, I'm going to turn it with the spoon. It's really easy to do. It just brings up the bottom and mixes the top. Duh. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the heat still on the stove. It's one of the great things about gas cooking. It's very effective this way. So we're going to put the top on. We're just going to let that stay warm for a second. Now I'm going to bring the camera over here. Yeah, notice the sound effects. Isn't that cool? All right, let's go ahead and light this set up here. Let's see. Hey, the bars are closed. Cute. That's, how would you know, Amy? Maybe you should come over to the house. Herb, I think Amy is saying hello to you.
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, we got, Amy's aunt is Gail. As many of you know, Gail. The lady that I get to take to Zig. She's lovely, but that's actually Amy's aunt. And Amy knows Pete and I just love seeing her. Sorry, Amy. Didn't mean to be creepy, but let's face it. Rocker chicks rule. By the way, Becky gave props to you, so, let's see. Herb, Amy's going nuts. She loves you. All right, folks.
Love her back.
Well, you bet.
Coffee with her.
Well, if you want to have coffee with her, you got to do something called calling her. I know that when you were a kid, 2 cans and a string was awesome, but modern technology. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. But Amy, Herb does say hello. He does ask about you a lot. He asked Gail today about you. So, no kidding around. All right, folks, check this out. We're going to have to do this, this style here. So what I'm going to do, now I can't really, let's go ahead and flip camera. So to work more effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn, you can see these are open. So obviously, makes it easy. You can just go one, like so. And I'm going to turn the camera off here. And what I'm going to do, folks, is mix this all together, put the cheese over the top, and I'm going to come back and let you see. Oh, wow. That is creepy. Ooh. But anyways, we're going to come back in a moment. 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes. Unless you want, we could just sit and do this live, and I can chat. Let's do that. So what we're going to do, we'll take the hot dog. Yes, guys, I know weenie. I'm sure I'm going to hear plenty of weenie jokes, so get it out of your system. I know there's women here, so be appropriate. Okay. You know what? I want to cook these a little bit longer. Hot dogs, obviously, just throw in some mustard and ketchup and you're good. All right, here we go. Now, next thing I'm going to do. Oh, hello, Hillary. All right, folks. Now, again, this I thought the Barefoot and Broke episode where I literally only had 4 ingredients was tough. But I'm going to have to do this. So I'm going to flip the camera back. And I'm going to have to do this, you know, let's see how this comes up. Let's see what we can do here. Now, we're just going to go ahead and move these in slowly. Usually everybody thinks you want to push from the back, but when you do that, you end up getting all of them in here. So what you want to do is just kind of go from the front and then work your way back. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a hot dog mess that has to be dealt with. Now, here's the issue. Since nobody was expecting us to do this, we're going to have to figure out a way to mix these together and create some sort of a sauce, because you're mixing in hot dogs with rice and tomatoes. And tomatoes, you know, kind of have, that's where ketchup comes from, so it gives it kind of a run. But we're going to put cheese over the top of this in the serving bowl. This is a hell of an experiment, by the way. I have no idea how well this is going to turn out. So what I want to do is this is Barefoot and Broke, so it's about being poor, which we are. You know, but we are lucky enough to have food, roof. You know, we are not destitute, but we are thrifty. And so we are still very lucky, given what other people are facing. And we are very thankful that we don't have to confront that. So what we're going to do, hot dog, scrambled eggs, tortillas is an excellent Barefoot and Broke. Oh, wow, Tina Timbang. Well, this is going to be difficult. Now, you saw me cooking last week at Tina's house. Tina, we are ultimately barefoot and broke today. So say hello to your husband and, of course, your lovely daughter-in-law. And that's meant cordially, not creepily. Actually, I look kind of creepy, don't I? Let's just go with the creepy thing. I haven't shaved for a while, so start following the restraining orders. So here's what we did. In a situation where you're extremely poor, one thing that you can always count on, and it's really cheap to buy, is rice. Another thing that gets you protein, which rice can. You can go brown, white. We use them all, actually. We use a Mexican rice. It's very sticky. But we have all the other kinds, too, that come from places as exotic as Canada, apparently. Wow. Anyways, now what we do is we're going to let this soak in. Now, we put in a can of diced tomatoes. Now, a lot of people have different opinions. The family says hi. Oh, great. That means they're watching. Oh, Jesus. I need to go to audio only if I look this bad. I wasn't trying to do the nerd thing where I missed the glasses and stuck my nose. I'm just covering it up. Here's what we did. We got the rice. We took hot dogs because that's all we had. We were tired. We're broke. And we put the hot dogs in the microwave. We chopped them up. Now, we made sure that we microwaved them first before we chopped them up because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But what we did is we heated them up for roughly about 5 minutes in 2.5-minute intervals. Now, you can cook them longer because obviously you don't want them to be too moist. You know, you want to firm them up a little bit. Yes, I know, firm weenie jokes. Here they come. Thank God there's no males on this because that's pretty much what I know I'd be hearing. We mix them together with the diced tomatoes. We want that tang, but we need something to cover it with. Now, let's get that. Ta-da! When your ex gives you a bunch of mozzarella cheese, you know it's because she hates you, and that's cool. But one thing that I love is free stuff from people that hate me because it's always going to be something you know is probably going to kill you. But I say that sarcastically. Don't get weird. Don't file sensitivity issues with me. I'm just trying to put cheer in the day. Look at the way I look. Do you think I do this to make people serious? No. Boom. Now, let's do this by hand. We're going to actually put the cheese over the top. Now, I'm going to try to give you a view. So what we're going to do, that's a little bit of cheese, and I'm going to mix this in here. And we're just going to flatten it by hand. Okay, now what? Now we're going to stick it back in the microwave. So, finally get this camera off me so I can stop being so scared. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to need to put something over the top. Here's the thing. We put something in the microwave. Oh, we can't do that. It has metal. Wouldn't that have been funny? Well, I mean, not for me, obviously. I would have gotten to die, but let's take a look. No, I wouldn't have. Let's use something a little more basic and simple. And this is the trick. We're just going to double fold this paper right here. Now, this is a paper towel. We're going to keep it nice and simple. Now, what you can do, and I know this is going to take a second, is fold at least one side of it underneath the bowl. Make sure the bowl is in the middle. Why would I go out through all this to explain this to you? Because if it sits in the middle, number one, it'll heat evenly. That's not true. It's microwave. It'll heat evenly no matter what. But when it's spinning around, the napkin won't catch and has a better chance of staying on. So we're just going to make sure we're a little more centered there. Boom. Now let's try 2 minutes. So, while it's cooking, the goal is to cook it together a little bit more, get some of that moisture out, and help the cheese melt over the top. What we're going to do is we're going to create basically the most poorest of the poor. Sorry, and let me take two of my eyes off. We're going to try to create the poorest of the poor man's casserole. Something that's very easy to clean. I hope everybody is falling asleep from boredom right now. If you are, just go ahead and tell me. But we only had a choice of 4 ingredients. And these are the ingredients. And Lynn, welcome aboard, Lynn Woods, Amy. So, you've got this, which is, peas and carrots. You've got cream of chicken. You have, actually, this is the rice that we use. You can see it's a longer rice. The grains are longer. I'm not an expert, but it tends to be stickier. I think it's because of the type of rice that it is. Well, why wouldn't it be because of the type of the rice? That's dumb. I was like saying it's fast because of the kind of car it is. Of course. Okay. Not a genius tonight. We have this bag of cheese. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix all of it together, and we're going to create something that more or less becomes a casserole that you can throw hot sauce on, anything that you want. And you can even put other ingredients over, but this is all we were working with. Rice, 3 canned items, and some cheese, and 4 hot dogs. And I had 15 minutes to come up with something, actually, and it's a challenge. We'll see what we can do. Now, we're almost done, so I know it's been really boring for a lot of you. I miss doing it. I certainly miss it. I got to make a juice this morning out of celery, strawberries, spinach, oranges, apples, and ginger root, and pineapple. Yum. And we've also made homemade ice cream. 10 more seconds, folks. Just stay with me for 10 more seconds. I promise you it'll be exciting. Actually, I don't, because it's not like I have ratings. It's not like I have to worry anything. I'm just getting to cook for the people I love, which is all of you. All right. Now, hopefully nobody's still watching. So if you are, I apologize. This is a great cure for insomnia. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it out. We're going to give it a quick look. Okay. A couple things that we need to do. All right. So we can see that it's not quite melted together yet. This is mine, so I can touch it. All right, here we go. And we're going to do another two minutes. Now, I'll come back and take a bite. I want to say thank you, everybody. This was a challenge. I can't believe, with rice, diced tomatoes, and hot dogs, and mozzarella cheese, and possibly some hot sauce. This is what we're going to come up with. We also use some salt, too. Literally the most barefoot and broke thing we've ever done. I thought the second to last show was, but wow. So I've done my best to try to entertain you. I know it's Saturday night and you could be doing something better, but why would you? Anyways, thanks so much for joining me. I miss all of you. Thanks.